undefeated Johnny Storm, returning here for the very first time since Best of the Best 2002, John House.
That's right, Eric, the long-awaited return of Johnny Storm, Garjula. But my big question is to you, who is his opponent going to be here tonight?
John, I'm not quite sure. Johnny Storm returns after excelling to the quarterfinals against his rival, the Phoenix, Jody Fleisch, in a match that fans voted Match of the Night for Best of the Best 2002, and a match Johnny calls his favorite match of his career.
I just want to say how good it is to be back in Philly, first of all. Because without a doubt, this place really is the biggest shithole I've ever listened to.
Excuse me, what is this about?
Oh, he's telling the truth, Eric.
There's nothing more I hate than smart rock fans who sit in front of the people and jack up every time someone does a move.
What?
Well, Eric, he's right, Eric.
We people make me sick, and America makes me sick. In England, we wrestle. We respect the word wrestling.
Oh, please.
Shut your mouth, you twat.
What is this rant all about, John?
I know, Eric, he don't like America.
Each and every one of you, keep your goddamn mouth shut and watch a real wrestler, a British wrestler, kick some ass.
Imagine if he knew about those Atlantic City parties you were having. He'd have a totally different view of America.
Eric, he don't like the Philadelphia fans, Eric.
He doesn't look American. And Nick Berk, I don't know if Nick Berk is scheduled or not. Maybe he's just taking up the cause for us Philly fans.
Uh-oh.
The Red Bull is smoke. It's going to be Johnny Storm and the former world heavyweight champion and Ironman champion Nick Berk. What a tremendous matchup this is going to be, John.
Oh, here we go, Eric. That was the ring bell. This match has officially started.
The Wonder Kid Johnny Storm comes into Combat Zone Wrestling at 5'7" at 172 pounds. You have to watch out for that rewind Storm and Steiner, a move we saw him nail Jody Fleisch with at the Best of the Best, John.
Uh-oh. And Eric, what a tremendous matchup this is going to be. We got like the battle of the technicians in there.
This is going to be tremendous, John. We've talked about the fact on many occasions that Nick Berk has had a real hard time getting himself back on track here at Combat Zone Wrestling. A win over Johnny Storm would do a lot for Nick Berk's career internationally, all over the world.
Look at that. Look at that leg takedown there by Johnny Storm, Eric.
What is he gyrating for? Does he think it's a Chippendale?
And look at Nick Berk. Nick Berk is frustrated early on in this matchup.
Johnny Storm again returning to Combat Zone Wrestling after winning Match of the Night honors at Best of the Best 2002 against Best of the Best 2002 finalist Jody Fleisch, John. Remember that match?
Eric, that was a long time ago. I'm sure that match right there has to be far from his memory at this point because he's in there with the Red Bull Nick Berk, a former world champion,
and he's
former
riding
Ironman champion. Style. And he spanked him, Eric.
He did.
Shades of what happened in that Ryder truck. It's a little under a year ago.
You keep bringing that up, don't you? One of your favorite moments.
It was a CZW moment.
Was that brought to you by 911? Was that a 911 call of the week?
And it looks like Nick Berk's trying to slow things down here, Eric.
Well, that's the smart thing to do. But I'll tell you something. This matchup could really be a dandy. It could be a real treat because Johnny Storm comes from a long line of British wrestlers who like to shoot and like to use that submission style of wrestling. Nick Berk, exactly like Johnny Storm, as well likes to use the submission and shoot style of wrestling. We can see ourselves one hell of a wrestling match here tonight.
You're right, Eric. Nick Berk, master of the submission holds, Eric. He knows 1,001 submission holds. And a reversal for every one of them, too.
But does Johnny Storm know that 1,002nd move that Nick Berk doesn't? Johnny Storm with the arm wringer. Nick Berk rolls through, rolls back, up again, arm wringer of his own. And again, a feeling out process going on right now. Looking to work over the arm, exploit the weak point of their opponent.
And Nick Berk wrenching down deep on that arm, Eric. He's not letting go. Look, he's winding it. He's ringing it, applying more pressure and more pain on that left arm of Johnny Storm.
The problem is, I haven't seen Nick Berk win too many matches around here using any kind of submission moves that exploit the arm.
We know, Eric, Nick Berk likes to wear his opponents down.
Johnny Storm with the arm wringer and a hammerlock. Both wrestlers with both an advantage and a disadvantage of the fact that they normally have not watched each other. They're not aware of what each other's moves are. They are going into this matchup totally fresh, not knowing anything about their opponents.
And what a tremendous victory it would be for Johnny Storm. He could pull a victory over someone of the caliber of Nick Berk.
Oh, it would be huge. No doubt, John.
Nick Berk now staying on top of Johnny Storm.
I mean, for Johnny Storm to just walk in here and get a win over one of our established stars like Nick Berk would be tremendous for him and his career.
Uh-oh. It looks like both of them, Eric, are working on each other's arms, and they both have like a similar game plan here going on.
Storm changing things up, going to the headlock. Berk going back to work on the arm with a wrist lock. And a headlock of his own. Nick Berk, of course, has already wrestled tonight. Was not pinned, John, in that matchup earlier involving Chris Cash and Derek Frazier. Derek Frazier wound up pinning Chris Cash.
Which puts Johnny Storm at a major advantage, Eric. You know, it takes a lot out of you when you have to wrestle two matches in one night.
Well, yes and no, John. On the flip side of that, Nick Berk's already warmed up. Johnny Storm, he's just got off a long flight from England over here. A lot of transit. He came from JFK Airport in New York all the way here, taking several different trains and buses, having that long flight. He's gonna be tired. He's gonna have some rust on him. I'll tell you what.
Jet lag.
Jet lag. That's absolutely the word I was looking for. Nick Berk, he's already revved up. He's like a Red Bull in there, John.
Arm drag there by Nick Berk. Uh-oh.
The instincts are working better for Nick Berk at this point. Nick Berk seizes an opportunity, ties him up into a surfboard-like maneuver.
And he's got it locked in there, Eric. There's no ropes anywhere near Johnny Storm. He has to try to somehow to power out of this maneuver.
Nick Berk has looked tremendous over the last several months, John. Nick Berk has been in the gym, spent a lot of time getting his cardio down, has put on a lot of muscle mass, has really metamorphosized his body over the last several months, John.
Yeah, he shoots him in. Uh-oh. Nick Berk ducks that clothesline.
Nick Berk with a leg lariat.
Johnny Storm, great presence of mind there to roll out of the ring. Try to regain some composure. Get back on his game plan.
Nick Berk now looking to go aerial.
Oh,
big super kick out of Johnny Storm. And talk about the extension of Johnny Storm's legs. He's only 5'7", John. That's a lot of extension right there.
Nick Berk just ran himself face first into the boot of Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm picks up Nick Berk, shoots him in. Downtown. A version of the Manhattan drop.
Uh-oh, he's going upstairs.
Johnny Storm with the reverse heel kick.
And he caught him with a big kick up there by Johnny Storm.
Sure did.
I don't see any jet lag there, Eric. Nick Berk down on the mat, flat on his face, trying to get up slowly, in a lot of pain. Big kick there into the rib section.
John, these fans on their feet knowing upon us the CZW Junior Heavyweight Championship matchup, a doubleheader of Junior Heavyweight title matchups. With the Junior Heavyweight title on the line, Ruckus defending against B-Boy, and the IWA Light Heavyweight Championship on the line, JC Bailey with a return title defense, a ladder match against Ruckus. And we just saw Johnny Storm sit out
against Sanjay Dutt, Eric. JC Bailey's defending against Sanjay Dutt.
I stand corrected, John.
Oh, yes, you do. Nick Berk right now in a lot of trouble. Look at that. Johnny Storm just stomping Nick Berk in the face.
Coming up to call it a match. We'll go crazy over here.
Nick Berk in a lot of trouble. What Johnny Storm's got to do, Eric, he's got to stop wasting time and jaw-jacking the fans. He's wasted precious time allowing Nick Berk to recoup.
I'll tell you something. These two have really gone out there using a very methodical pace, John. You're not seeing the quick, flashy matchup that we saw at Johnny Storm against Jody Fleisch.
Johnny Storm went for them eyes. Now he's got Nick Berk in that corner. Shoots him across, right into that turnbuckle.
What a forearm.
Big flying forearm there by Johnny Storm, and Nick Berk is staggered, Eric. He can't even stand on his own 2 feet.
I'll tell you what, Johnny Storm is about the only guy in this building that could care less about the IWA Mid-South and CZW rivalry. He doesn't care. He's here for himself and nobody else.
Big drop kick there right into the midsection of Nick Berk. Johnny Storm gets no respect from the CZW fans, Eric, from these fans in America, or especially the fans from Philadelphia.
But what has he done here? I mean, he made it to the second round of the Best of the Best 2002, and that's it.
Oh, Nick Berk blocks that big right hand, and he returns with a couple of his own.
I mean, Lil Cholo made it to the second round of the tournament, but we haven't heard from him since.
Uh-oh, Nick Berk shoots him off. Uh-oh.
High back body drop. Oh, looked like he went for a lariat. Nails a lariat.
You got a problem with Little Cholo?
I'm just stating facts. Johnny Storm. Clothesline on that top rope. Nick Berk taking a move right at the cage of Chris Cash. And we saw earlier.
Here he goes.
Nick Berk up and over. The Tope Canelo.
Catching Johnny Storm, taking him down to that concrete. Brian Logan now starting that 10 count. He's up to 3.
Hey, they better watch it. Logan will dive over the top rope.
Yeah, Logan's not to be trusted, Eric. Something needs to be done about the officiating around here in CZW.
It's been quite an interesting night of officiating, hasn't it, John?
Very interesting. Johnny Storm looks like he's trying to run away from Nick Berk, Eric.
Nick Berk stalking Johnny Storm right now. Johnny Storm has not really had an opportunity at any point in this matchup to go for the reverse Stormensteiner.
Nick Berk not having it. Look, they're fighting right around that entranceway.
Hey, Nick Berk's a former Iron Man champion. This plays right into his game plan. Wait a minute, Johnny Storm looked like he was trying to grab the top. Wait a minute. Hurricane Rana with a concrete floor.
Right on that concrete.
I've never seen anybody use that entranceway before. There's like a gymnast out there.
Right now, Nick Berk and Johnny Storm are in a lot of trouble, Eric.
It's the last thing.
Both in a lot of pain.
We don't want another gymnast around here, do we, John?
Oh, no.
That's why we don't want them a lot of trouble.
The only thing a gymnast is good for, Eric, is climbing that pole over there. Johnny Storm now fighting back, taking it to Nick Berk on the outside.
Notice how Johnny Storm has gotten very aggressive. It's like this whole other side of Johnny Storm has come out since nailing that Hurricane Rana.
Rolling, they roll back into the ring. He goes for a cover. Lateral press there, 2 count.
Johnny Storm picking up Nick Berk now.
Uh-oh, shoots him in.
Follows through. Nick Berk looked like he was going for an Oklahoma roll. Nick Berk hangs on. Sunset flip. Around the world, sunset flip. We saw him use this move for the very first time against Trent Aston about a year ago.
2 count there.
Junior heavyweight title matchup.
Uh-oh. Using his leverage, using his weight.
Nick Berk and Johnny Storm playing a game of human chess right now. It's like a jigsaw puzzle in there, John.
Uh-oh. Sunset flip.
Johnny Storm holds on. Both wrestlers right now.
Nick Berk got that clothesline.
High cross body. Got him. No.
Didn't grapevine that leg, Eric.
Absolutely.
He did not grapevine that leg.
Both wrestlers, John, picking up the pace now. Nick Berk getting ahead of steam himself like a Red Bull. That's why they call him the Red Bull, John.
And Eric,
just when you think he's about to sit out and get out of his game plan, he all of a sudden comes alive with a burst of energy.
It looks like Nick Berk and Johnny Storm had the same plan. They both went for high cross bodies. It was like a mid-air collision.
Right. Both wrestlers out at this point. The fans getting behind them again. Both wrestlers have picked up the pace here tonight at Viking Hall.
Both men trying to get up to their feet very slowly. They're getting up. Big right hand there by Johnny Storm. Nick Berk fires back with one of his own. They're exchanging right hands.
Unfortunately, it's been a long time since Nick Berk has had a singles win here at CZW. He needs this win badly. Rockin right out of nowhere. Hooks the leg. He got him now.
2 count there. He hit that out of nowhere, Eric. But Nick Berk with enough presence of mind to kick out.
Johnny Storm frustrated, John. Frustrated right now. I don't know if he's frustrated with Brian Logan or he's frustrated with himself. Nick Berk with a small package. 2! Kicked out by Johnny Storm. Storm. To Nick Berk, DDT.
Oh, he planted him with that DDT, Eric. Nick Berk in a whole lot of trouble.
The 5'7" Wonder Kid having a real hard time finishing Nick Berk off.
Nick Berk getting that right shoulder up in the nick of time. Storm now dragging Nick Berk, setting him up into position. Looks like he's calling for the end, Eric.
He's going for a moonsault here. Moonsault! And a miss.
How come these people didn't pop?
I don't know. Because they're spoiled, John. That's why.
Oh, Nick Berk's got him up. Nope.
Johnny Storm hangs on. Oh! With the Stormin' driver.
2!
Hooks the leg. No.
2 3/4. How did Nick Berk kick out of that? I'll never know.
Nick Berk needs to nail either a Berkicet or a Berk driver real quick. Real quick and end this thing. Come out of nowhere. That's why they call him the Red Bull.
Johnny Storm now picking Nick Berk up.
And don't let the record fool you, John. Nick Berk is one of the finest here in Combat Zone Wrestling. It would be huge for Johnny Storm to defeat Nick Berk.
Nick Berk throws off Johnny Storm.
Nick Berk goes downtown. Has him up. Face first, no.
He landed on his face.
He's got him hooked. Berkicet.
Bam! Bam!
And that's it for the Wonder Kid. And Nick Berk gets back on track, John.
And Eric, Nick Berk hit that Berkicet out of nowhere to steal this victory from Johnny Storm. What a huge victory for Nick Berk.